Coming back to the Jio example, it's quite interesting that I remember Mukesh Ambani actually coming to Mumbai University, and he was there as a chief guest of a convocation ceremony. And he said something, and when he said this, it was actually for me a very different outlook of a businessman. He said, till now we were focusing on oil, OIL, because Reliance is petroleum, and that's their major cash cow, or cash flow comes from oil, the petroleum part of it. But then today he said data is the next oil. So what is actually, it's not internet, it's data. And I know people who actually told me this, who are YouTubers. When I say YouTubers, not like you, the people who run the background, they had to actually have bigger server farms. Because the consumption of India has gone 10 times bigger. Then say, ki, kahan se aa raha hai? I mean, suddenly, why are Indians watching so much YouTube? And they say, ki, there is an impact of Jio on that. So what actually made is that Jio got everybody into a different platform and saying that data chahiye, le, free mein le, tera number mere ko de de, whatever it is. And believe me, the world cannot exist without Indian data. Because you're talking 1/6 of the billion people here. And today with a Google or a Facebook or maybe a Twitter or Instagram, they're all having offices in India, right? I mean, LinkedIn cannot exist without India, even though it's an American company. And looking at the culture today, maybe the Prime Minister is promoting it, the government infrastructure, please ride on the wave. Please ride on the wave. Like our generation rode on the wave of the IT culture. So 20 years ago, we had the advantage of being that generation that defined Indian professionalism through an IT culture. And today we rule the world through the IT. I mean, you go across any country, we Indians are there in the IT field. Your generation will be in the data field, the digital infrastructure. Rule it and rule it nicely.
How to rule it?
Number one is that you use it as a medium of education and business. So what is the business model, you understand, but what is happening is that there is something called as soft power. So one is economical power. What's economical power? I can make money out of it. So if you do this particular broadcast, maybe you'll get likes, you'll get video ads out of it. That's the economic model. But can you use the same platform to actually educate people on certain platforms? For example, what we are doing is that we're talking about history, we're talking about Indian culture. And let me tell you, my dear friends, that if you look at, probably you create a video on Chanakya. I mean, that's my area. When I started learning Chanakya probably 20 years ago, I did not even know Chanakya. And today, by the grace of God, I know something about Chanakya. But there are actually 1 billion people in India who don't know Chanakya. But I suddenly realized one thing, if 1 billion people don't know, your market actually is 7 billion people. Do you think that the European sitting over knows about Chanakya? He doesn't. But if you educate him, he will come to you. Today morning, I'm telling you specifically today, I had a person called Michael Raffel. I don't even know, so he actually tweets me and gets in touch with me. For the last 1 year, this guy has been following me. And for me, I never actually did a background research of who Michael is. And then he writes me a long mail and says he's actually an European trying to find his identity. He's not from India. He's migrated to India just because he's wowed by the Indian yogic systems. Then I said, oh, India doesn't know about Indians or Indian knowledge. But the world doesn't know about Indian knowledge. So when I say, how do you make YouTube or the social media work? Believe me, that 7 billion people are frustrated. They don't have a direction in life. They don't have a purpose in life. They don't have knowledge. So what the superficial knowledge we have at the level is something which probably we can give quality inputs. Like if you talk about yoga today yoga has become a product or a service for 7 billion people. Don't you think Arthashastra can do that? Maybe Indian wisdom, Indian Ayurveda can do that. So use this platform to take India's soft power globally. We don't have to attack people. We have Indian Vedic systems, mathematics is there. We have so many things. First, study yourself. So, I'll give you 4 steps if you don't mind. And I'll use a little bit of a Sanskrit words to it. If suppose you take any particular field, I mean, you decide which field, and all our Indians have done solid research work in the past in that particular field. So let me give you politics, the most hottest topic everybody talks about with the social media, politics. So, okay, we talk about Narendra Modi era, that's okay. But then you say, okay, let me study, and they say, okay, in India, we actually got democracy post 1947, but we are always a country of monarchy for thousands of years. So actually, technically, democracy is a new thing for our country. We're always having rajas. Now I say, were we bad? Not really. So what you do is that you go and study all those things and what were the Indian models of governance. So the first step, if you take a subject like politics, one is called Swadhyaya, study it, research on it. Then the second step is Anubhava. Practice it yourself. Don't just glorify, saying that try something on your
internship.
internship. So you study it. So I studied Chanakya, practice my, and third is called prachar. What is a prachar? Prachar means share it. Go it like a missionary, and not to convert somebody saying that Indian is the best, but I'm making you aware of this is also thing. So prachar, and the fourth and the most important is document it. So it's very important to actually protect it. So शास्त्र को हमको बचा के रखना है. तो what's the शास्त्रीय परंपरा? Learn it, practice it, promote it, document it. So if you can do the 4 steps, take any subject. If you like chemistry, you take biology, take aeroplane, and we say Pushpak Viman tha. I don't know. Study it. Take a protocol, go into IIT, make a model out of it, and actually this is an Indian model of aeroplane. Probably you will get some mathematics, take a Pythagoras theorem, take a gravitational theory. You decide. Natya Shastra, Artha Shastra, Kama Sutra, you decide what you want. And then you experiment it and you're perfect. And then finally you'll find everything is spiritual. See, finally the beauty of India is that whatever subject you take, finally you will come to godhood. Which country in this particular world has given every knowledge finally reaches you to the supreme, which the Westerners have called as self-actualization. Use social media for that.